Greetings, horror fans! In today's game, I, Thomas Eliot, will be your Oracle, and our players are Jamie Avery, a playtester who's been so thoroughly ensnared by fear of the unknown that he actually literally had a nightmare about it, and Sean Patrick Fannon, a game designer who you may know from Prowlers and Paragons. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to do a brief overview of the rules, and then we'll jump right into creating the setting, characters, and then I'll use the GM tools, which are in the full version of the Fear of the Unknown rules, but not in the quick start, to create a mystery that they will then solve. So if you both pull up the quick start rules, you can skip the first page because that's basically telling you what I'm about to tell you anyways, and go ahead and take a look at the character sheet on the second page. So you'll see that broadly speaking, there are sort of two sections of the character sheet. There's spaces with horizontal lines to write down tags, and there's spaces with little bubbles to fill in to keep track of your experience points. Tags are short descriptive phrases that make up, that describe the attributes of your character and of the town that this game is going to take place in. So for your character, they describe things like your skills and abilities, weaknesses and difficulties, equipment, relationships with other characters, all that sort of things. And for the town tags, they describe things like locations, NPCs, the town obsessions, stuff like that. Tags can be positive, negative, or wild. Positive tags only ever help you out. Negative tags only ever get in your way, and wild tags can do either. Then on the right-hand side of the character sheet, you see places to keep track of the three different forms of experience, which are horror, humanity, and foreboding. You gain horror whenever you encounter true horror, which we'll get to in a minute. You gain humanity whenever one of your negative tags is invoked, and that one is the one that's most similar to a traditional form of experience point, where you spend it to improve your character in some way. And finally, you gain foreboding whenever you miss on a move, which is to say you roll a total of 6 or below, and you can spend foreboding to change the setting in some way. So the next page is town creation, which we're going to get to in a moment, then character creation, which we'll get to right after town creation, and then the page after that, page 5, is investigate, which is the first of the moves. So for the moves investigate and face peril, these are what you use your tags for. Whenever you are in a situation where your description of what's going on would naturally include the name of a move, like investigate or face peril or encounter true horror or reveal something about yourself, etc., that is a clue that you're probably going to invoke the move. So for investigate and face peril, when you invoke that move, we're sort of going to use that move to build a scene or build progress in the scene that explains what the consequences of your investigation or of your being in some sort of deadly situation is. You're going to pick up to 3 positive or wild tags that you think might help you in some way. I'll pick up to 2 negative or wild tags that I think might hinder you in some way. And then you roll 2 6-sided dice, add your number of positive tags, subtract the number of negative tags, and then look at what the results range you land in. For investigate, 3 different results ranges are 6 or lower, 7 through 9, or 10 or above. If you get a 7 or above, then you're going to look at the options for the results range you landed in and pick one of them. If you get a 7 or above, you'll definitely find a clue as to what the question that you're trying to answer, and you might find something else useful. If you take a look at the options there, you'll see that some of them have circles next to them and some of them have dots next to them. The ones with dots next to them, you can pick that whenever you land in that results range, and it never goes away. But the ones with circles next to them, when you pick one of those, you have to mark it off, and then you can't pick it again until you recover it somehow. Now, all of the results ranges there have a way to recover the circle options by picking the dot option, except for, if you look at the next page, face peril 7 through 9 results. Each of those, you can't, there is not a dot option that recovers those circle options. So every time you pick one of those, you are permanently reducing the number of options you have in the future. And if you'll notice, the last option is that your character dies. So as this is a horror game, you are most likely going to move inexorably closer to death. And if you roll a 6 or below on investigate or face peril, you don't get to pick any of the options. Instead, I get to pick one or more of the options that are listed there. So that's investigate and face peril. Encounter true horror is a bit different because it does not use your tags. Instead, when you roll it, you add the amount of horror that you've accumulated so far, and then after you roll, you gain another horror. So while investigate and face peril, the higher the result, the better. On encounter true horror, the higher the result, the more dangerous, though also potentially the more revealing or useful. And then
this is a twisted game, I just have to
say. I'll take that as a compliment. Then if you look at the final page of the quick start rules, you'll see the 3 revelations. So the revelations are moves that you don't have to roll dice for. Instead, you just spend the appropriate form of experience that you've been accumulating. You can spend horror to let the horror sink in, which lets you get rid of 3 horror, but you have to pick a bad thing that happens. You can spend 3 humanity to reveal something about yourself and improve your character in some way. And you can spend 3 foreboding to reveal something about the world and change the story or setting in some way outside of your character. And that's it for the basic rules. Any questions so far?
I'm sure I will have some as we play, but
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm the essentials seem to be sinking in and are intensely clever.
Well, thank you.
I just yeah, as we actually go through, it's learned by play.
Yeah. I'm going to quote you on that intensely clever part.
I like to sum up RPGs by just going roll X to not die.
Yeah, that's the face peril move there. Roll 2d6 plus tags to not die.
See, so I'm not a horror guy. So just to be clear, you know, anybody who knows my background, I'm all about epic fantasy and heroic stuff. Star Wars, Shinetar, Prowlers and Paragons. Horror is not my thing, but ever since you told me about the way this game works, I have been fascinated and wanted to see the mechanics in play. So I am not what would normally be your target audience, but I'm really fascinated with the design. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays.
All right. So in that case, we're ready to get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is create the town together. By the time we finish creating the town, we will have 5 town tags, which are wild tags that anyone can invoke. So you guys can both invoke them, and I can invoke them if I think that they're going to get in your way. But before we get any town tags, we need to establish the basic location and time period that this town that this setting takes place in. So this is a small town that's relatively isolated. Could be on a coast somewhere, could be like in the Rocky Mountains where the only way in and out of town is, through a hazardous mountain pass. Could be a Midwest farming town that's got miles and miles of corn in every direction. And for the time period, people usually pick a time period that's in the 20th or 21st centuries, but I've had games that took place as far back in the past as 1692 during the Salem witch trials, and as far into the future as 2120, and the small town was a colony ship preparing for launch. So anything in or even outside of that range. But for a more normal game, 20th or 21st century. So what time period and general locale is appealing to you guys?
So, Jamie, do you want to take turns with this, or do we want to just...
I have two ideas, but I am down for hearing whatever your ideas are first, Sean.
And as a general note, trading off is totally fine for answering these questions, but we should, achieve unanimous agreement on the answers before we write them down.
Well, let's hear your ideas, Jamie.
Well, we're going for two opposite sides of North America here. My vague general locations were either somewhere in New England or Alaska.
I vote Alaska. I'm already having some ideas about basically a horror experience that is like what would happen if Northern Exposure had a horror event.
All right. Cool. So what time period are we thinking in Alaska?
Well, in indistinct modern day, I'd say. Again, I'm leaning towards the whole northern. Lately, I've been on a Northern Exposure kick. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show, but it was a show that I enjoyed watching dearly for a while, and I've been wanting to look it back up again and kind of get back into it. But so I'd say 1990X.
Okay.
I'm not far off from that, but I was thinking at the earliest, the early 1970s, right after Vietnam, or sometime in the 80s.
You know what? 80s. I'm an 80s kid.
All right.
Parachute pants and thin ties. Sure, I'm in.
And no cell phones.
And I'm someone who was born in the 90s and has a lot of secondhand nostalgia for the 80s.
All right. So we're in a small town in Alaska in the 1980s. If you guys come up with a name for the town at some point, that's great. And if not, that's also fine. So the first question that's going to give us a town tag, and you guys, once you come up with a town tag, you should write it down for future reference, is: what is a local landmark? Gain a town tag like the Abandoned Quarry, or the Statue of the Beloved Town Founder, or the Only Diner in Town.
How about an oil rig?
Old and abandoned oil rig?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like an offshore thing?
Or it could just be, an oil, drilling site that's on land. Either works.
Yeah. Which one are you guys picturing?
Let's go with, I like the idea of being coastal, but let's go with, it's a coastal town, but off to the west. I'm sorry, off to the east, because just coastal is going to almost be west. Off to the east is this old abandoned oil space.
Okay.
Yeah, like an oil field.
Abandoned oil field. Cool. For the second question, who's someone that everyone in town knows, or at least knows of? Gain a town tag like the Gregarious Dean, or the Slimy Mayor, or the Quietly Intimidating Crime Lord.
All right, so I'm totally leaning on the Maurice Benefield character from Northern Exposure, but I would totally love to have somebody who in the movie would be played by Barry Corbin, um, who is basically the town, not founder per se, but the town patron. Like he's wealthy and he's trying to build the town up, and he's willing to do almost anything to do so.
So I'm gonna put like Barry, the richest guy in town.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Does that work for you, Jamie?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Great. What is a group that at least a sizable portion of the town despises? Gain a town tag like the Corrupt Police, or the Ivory Tower University, or the Biker Gang with Hearts of Gold.
All right, I'm throwing that one to you, Jamie.
I would say the suits from the oil company.
Yep, I like it.
Okay, maybe they're trying to reinvigorate the oil field.
There's oil under the town.
Oh, all right. What is something?
Yeah, I was going to say they found more oil reserves that they had missed the last time around, and they're trying to figure out a way to get at it.
We've gotten very Goonies very quickly.
Yeah. What is something that your town is obsessed with? Gain a town tag like the Crosstown Sports Rivalry, or the annual Harvest Festival, or the Stories of Cryptids in the Woods.
Okay, I was gonna Google something quickly. Just one moment.
Well, I was just going to say the annual regatta. Everybody gets their boats, and there's a whole big sailing festival thing.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. That was also one of the town tags the last time that Jamie played, if I recall correctly.
We also did Boat Town on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh well, then we don't need to repeat that. Then I'll relent to.
I was going to suggest ice hockey because it would play into the idea I had for a character result of I was going to go for the stereotypical like high school graduate jock type.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to suggest then the town's name will be well, I was going to go with I would do something with moose, because of course moose are huge in Alaska, and I just think that would be funny. Let's go with Silver Moose.
Okay.
As the name of the town, and the Silver Moose ice hockey team is like the thing. Does that
All
work?
right. Works for me. Okay.
Works for me as well. I normally come up with very one-word names, like you get things like Coffin Nail and Anchor when I'm the one naming it.
Yeah, Coffin Nail is 2 words, but yeah.
I think Coffin
ice hockey team.
Yeah. All right, so for the final town tag, you guys pick one of those questions that we just asked, and we ask it again, and you gain another town tag like that. So it could be another landmark, or another town obsession, another famous person, or another group of people that is widely disliked.
Well, I think my first opinion is that in the center of the town, Barry had built a gigantic, literally silver moose, which of course he pays stupid money to have it guarded and protected, because it is in fact made of silver. So people, will like try to take chunks of it off or whatever. but it's a landmark that he's trying to draw tourism, and so having this gargantuan silver moose would be, I think, kind of fun and funny.
All right.
What do you think,
I,
Danny?
I like the silver moose statue idea. I think it does make me smile when I think of it. So.
Great. And then the last part of the town creation is, have either of you heard any rumors going around town recently? And if so, what is the rumor you've heard? You don't have to, like, you can say, no, I haven't heard anything. And you don't know whether these rumors are true or not. I will decide whether they are the case. But you can say them if you would like.
I'm going to go with the idea that I've heard the rumor that the oil folk are in negotiation with Barry to try to work out some sort of deal to basically, so not the whole town itself per se, but like there's a huge portion of the where people live and have their homes and stuff like that, and he's trying to work out a deal to get them bought out so that they can rip those homesteads up and start drilling for oil again. And this has got people really upset.
Okay.
That work?
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie?
I was thinking of something smaller scale, but also related to Barry's family, because they're presumably the oldest family in town.
Yeah.
But this isn't actually the Silver Moose isn't the first time that Barry's family has been up here. They made a lot of their money in fur trapping.
Hmm.
And they say that the last people that went up here, the guy went crazy, Overlook Hotel style, and killed his family.
And so by the last guy, you mean like an ancestor of Barry?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously couldn't have killed his whole family given that Barry's around, but
Just the ones that were with him.
yeah. Okay. So that's the town created. It's Silver Moose, Alaska in the 1980s. What was formerly probably a silver mining town originally, but then more recently an oil drilling town, which those pumps have since run dry. But now some suits from the oil company are negotiating with Barry, the richest guy in town, to try to buy out a bunch of people's homesteads in order to start drilling under the town itself. Meanwhile, people who aren't concerning themselves with that are concerning themselves with ice hockey and the local team, the Silver Mooses, who are represented by, and indeed the whole town is represented by, the giant Silver Moose statue in the center of town. I like this setting. So now, character creation. If you look at page 4 of the quick start rules, you'll see how character creation works, and also I'm just gonna walk you through it. So this is similar to how town creation works, in that I'm going to ask you questions and you'll come up with tags and write them down. Now, since you're each creating your own character, you'll come up with different tags, like your tags will only apply to your character. And by the time we're done with this, you'll have 5 positive tags, 1 wild tag, and your choice of 1, 2, or 3 negative tags. So, for the first question, what have you trained for the most in your life? Gain a positive tag like 7th generation farmer, or promising young mathematician, or Golden Gloves boxer.
You go first, Jamie. I'm still thinking.
I'm, of course, Barney Benson, star ice hockey player.
All right. Sounds
I'll
good.
probably put star in quotations because it's like I just graduated from high school, so I'm a star to the town.
Ha.
All right.
Almost,
I'm going to go with
almost famous.
Albert Caldwell. Deputy sheriff. Who you said what did you train for the most in your life? He's always been an outdoorsman. Wilderness survivalist type person who took on, a deputy sheriff role, which in this town, he's the only deputy sheriff. There's a sheriff and a deputy sheriff, and he's the deputy.
Cool.
So yeah.
So we can go ahead and write deputy sheriff as your first positive tag. And if you want to make that outdoor wilderness survival training a tag, you can use that as an answer to a later question.
Sounds good.
So this next question doesn't directly give you a tag. Instead, it sort of splits the flow chart that you're going through to make this. So come up with an answer, but don't write it down. Just keep it in mind, and I'll ask you about it in a moment. Which do you value most? Wealth, knowledge, or power? So who said wealth?
Not me.
Who says knowledge?
Me.
Okie dokie. What is something that you already know a bit about and want to know more about? Gain a positive tag like obscure geography facts or astronomy enthusiast or this weird old book I found.
Town history.
All right.
He knows if Barney's ancestor really killed his family or not.
Yeah, I'm kind of running with that a little bit.
All right. Cool. So then your second knowledge question is, knowledge cuts both ways. Someone learned something about you that you'd rather they didn't. What was it? Gain a negative tag, like unbeknownst to me, someone saw me do a hit and run, or paranoid delusions, or I'm being blackmailed.
I would say my own family has a very negative history.
Okay.
And Barney knows that I am constantly looking into his history, and he's constantly undermining me and trying to find ways to get me fired or to get me
all right.
blacklisted or whatever. He's constantly making life difficult for me.
I assume because they have similar names. When you said Barney, you meant Barry, because Barney's a star ice hockey player.
Oh,
I doubt
Barry, thank you. Yeah,
I doubt he could get you fired.
No, you messed me up on that one, Jamie. But yeah, Barry is what I meant.
All right. Which actually brings us to a mechanic that is not in the quick start rules, but is in the full version of the rules, and I want to play with, which is bonds. So a bond is mechanically represents the way that two player characters know each other. So each of you can create a bond, and since there's only two players, the only other person you can create it with is the other player character. A bond is a wild tag that represents some way in which you two know each other, and which you can only invoke if you are in the same scene together. So if at any point you're listening to the other player describe something about their character during character creation, and you think, oh, hey, I'd like my character to be involved in that in some way, you can propose a bond about it. And if they agree, then you can write down that bond. So keep that in mind. There are not going to be specific questions prompting the bond. Instead, just pay attention to the other player as they create their character and think about ways your characters might know each other.
I actually have an idea now, if I can throw it out.
Go for it.
My younger brother, by the way, my character, I'm going with Albert Caldwell. is his name, and my younger brother Stevie plays hockey with
with Barney. With Barney
yeah,
Benson.
with Barney. Okay.
Nice.
You can stick to Benson and start referencing Castaway. Benson!
So, my younger brother, and my younger brother idolizes you. He thinks you are the shit, and just cannot stop talking about how awesome you are and how much he wants to be as much like you as possible. And it drives me just a little bit crazy.
Ha.
I've got that written as a bond then. Albert Caldwell's brother thinks I am the shit.
Stevie.
Yeah, that's why I said your brother.
Yeah.
Albert
Sweet.
Caldwell's brother Stevie thinks I am the shit.
And so that's Sean, that is your bond. Like, you get to create a bond, and Jamie also gets to create a bond. So you two will also be connected in some other way that we'll discover as we go. So that finishes the knowledge questions. So Jamie, you must have picked power as what you value most.
Yes.
Okay. So for you, you haven't always used your power for good. What's one time you regret using it? Gain a negative tag like I don't know my own strength, or I'm quick to anger, or I've made enemies.
Negative tag. I would say, despite being liked about the town, I'm not liked specific. Well, I wasn't liked in high school specifically, which obviously my character has only just graduated, so that feels like it's the entire world.
Okay.
So I would suppose I'd say, like, negative tag, not popular among my peers, because I, like, accidentally, like, really messed someone up in a hockey game.
Okay. All right.
But, you know, being the star hockey player, nothing bad happened to me.
Okay, cool. Your next question is, and this is just for Jamie, all that effort's paying off. What have you been doing? Gain a positive tag like weightlifter or police detective or authority in your sub-community.
A positive tag. All that was. I would like it to be like an item that I have managed to pay for.
Okay, sure.
So I'd like to say, I don't know, like, I would say my pickup truck.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
brand new.
All right, yeah. So in addition to attending classes full-time and being on the hockey team, you've also been working some part-time job, and you've used that money to buy a pickup truck.
Yep.
Sweet. Cool.
You can say many things about Barney Benson, but to say he's not a hard worker, you
Yeah.
can't say that.
Yeah. Okay, so this next question is for both of you, and it is optional. You can, if you choose to answer it, you'll gain another negative tag, and if you don't want to do that, you can skip it. So the question is, have you been more of a risk taker in life, or did you try to take things easy? If you take things easy, skip the follow-up question. But if you've been a risk taker, then what was the biggest thing that went wrong in your life because you took a risk, or something that stopped you from going as far as you wanted? Gain a negative tag like permanent limp or serious debts or someone has a grudge.
Well,
Go ahead.
clearly with how much work Barney puts in, he's a risk taker.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And while you're thinking about that, Jamie, Sean, is Albert more of a risk taker or not?
Yes, Albert definitely is a risk taker.
Cool.
And early in life, while trying to actually, I'm going to think about this for a second.
Sure.
I've got one that plays perfectly into the fact that, you know, just graduated from high school, had a job, well, has a part-time job that, let's face it, is probably going full-time, and I'm on the hockey team. My negative tag is sleep deprived.
I like it.
Which is probably not great for driving around in Alaska.
Yeah. Nor for engaging in dangerous physical activities like ice hockey.
It's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm on like my 5th coffee today. You've been up for an hour.
All right. Sean, if you have one, we can write it down, or if you want to, hold on to this and come back to it in a few minutes, we can do that too.
I am. I've got it.
All right.
Here's a younger man. Really enjoyed exploring and investigating things, and as a kid, and had a girlfriend named Annabelle Gibbons. I mean, they were in that innocent way that younger folks, boyfriend, girlfriend, not hold hands and steal kisses and what have you, but we're also both really interested in this whole Scooby-Doo-esque. Let's go investigate things and check things out. And she died falling down the main well area.
Ooh,
we're messing around with it. And
that's rough.
He carries excruciating guilt over that.
I also have another bond for Albert.
Yeah.
Deputy Caldwell caught me asleep at the wheel.
Ooh.
All right.
You good with that, Sean?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Cool.
So you two don't necessarily have the greatest opinions of each other, but certainly your brother does. So that might be pushing you towards more positive, or that might be pushing you towards more negative.
I don't hate Barney. I just wish he'd wise up a little bit.
He's pushing himself too hard.
He's too wrapped up in his own image, and he's got to chill out a little bit.
Does he remind Albert of himself a little bit? How, when you're that age, you think you're invincible?
Yeah, exactly that. I thought, did the whole, was invincible risk taker thing, and look what happened. And of course, this is also going to be why I really don't like these oil guys, because that whole area just brings up so many bad memories.
All right. So the next question for both of you is, what is something you're good at that people might not guess? Gain a positive tag like chess master or barroom brawler or former sailor.
I say just something that that people might not guess. So that wouldn't really, because people are going to know I'm Mr. Outdoorsy dude. That's pretty well known.
Yeah. There's I think we're currently on question 11. I think question 15 would probably be a good fit for that outdoorsy answer. So we'll get there in a bit.
I'm thinking.
Sure.
You got anything, Jamie?
I thought of something that one might not expect from a star ice hockey player. Something that maybe Barney will do if/when he goes to college. A budding geologist.
All right. That's great. Yeah.
He really likes them rocks.
That's a useful thing to get a job in the oil industry. So probably suits from the oil company would encourage you to do that sort of thing.
That could also probably play into the negative tag unpopular with my peers. No one likes the suits. I have a skill set the suits really like.
Yeah. Now this is the kind of young lad that this town needs more of. Bringing pride to your community through ice hockey, and also, you're gonna contribute economically. You're gonna go to college, get a degree, and you'll have a job waiting for you here at the oil fields.
Bookworm.
All right.
Yeah. Most people don't realize that, big rough and gruff Albert Caldwell, deputy sheriff, is incredibly well-read, nerdy bookworm.
Sounds good. Okay, this next question is another optional one. It's your last chance to gain another negative tag, but you can skip it. Has anything else gone seriously wrong with your life? If so, what is still afflicting you? Gain a negative tag like haunted or discriminated against by bigots or cursed.
I think I've got enough ugliness going on with the whole death of Annabelle and the fact that Barry's family hates me. Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I've got one thing that's probably quite bad for a star ice hockey player, because we're playing back into I accidentally injured someone really badly in an ice hockey game. I cannot stand the sight of blood anymore.
All right. Yeah, that's going to cause problems with hockey. Okay. Next question is for
hemophobic, I believe.
Yes, it would. Next question is for both of you. What is a connection with an NPC that you particularly value? Gain a positive tag like my parents with interesting jobs, or my pet dog, or drinking buddies.
You first, Jamie.
Well, it's going to be the Silver Moose ice hockey team.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Stand by.
Or specifically the coach of the Silver Moose ice hockey team, to make it more specific, rather than like a whole group of people. Maybe.
You could do either. Depends on if you want to, I could see a great scene where you need to face peril against whatever the antagonist is, and you invoke that and get the whole hockey team out there involved in whatever this fight is.
Just go and wail on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that down then.
Okay. Which is funny, because I'm pretty sure the ice hockey team is also a town tag. The general concept of ice hockey is already a town tag. If the team itself was already a town tag, then I would recommend you pick something else. In general, any given fictional element should only be represented by a single tag.
Right. Okay. So the town is obsessed with ice hockey. Okay.
Yes.
So my connection is Arlene Dieter, State Police. She's Alaska State Police. This is part of her area that she patrols, and she and I are just seriously buds. A lot of the town probably thinks that we're romantically involved. We're not, because it turns out that she's actually a lesbian, but she keeps that fairly close to the vest. But she's made it clear to me, and she actually has a crush on somebody else in the town, and I'm trying to figure out how to get them together.
All right.
What a wholesome guy.
Yeah.
I'm I would also like to say that I'm really glad that I'm not the one who is making a cop or a hardcore survivalist for once.
Yes, and speaking of hardcore survivalism, the next question, which is your last opportunity to gain a positive tag, is what is your favorite thing about yourself? Gain a positive tag like good dancer, or I always have something useful in my bag, or my analytical mind, or my survivalism training.
That's what I'm going to go with, is that, outdoor survivalist.
Cool.
Thing that Barney really likes about himself. Is this one an optional one, or do I have to pick something?
You have to pick something. This is your last positive tag.
Does it have to be something about me, or can it be like something tangible?
Whatever works for you.
Okay. Either that, or I could just go hard into like Barney being quite the Renaissance man with a lot of different skills.
Could be.
Like, why do I have a brand new pickup? Because I'm also quite a good mechanic.
Oh. Sure.
So I'd probably say like my
Mechanical aptitude
knowledge.
Sure. Okay. And then the last question for both of you is, what is something you like about yourself that some people consider a character flaw? Gain a wild tag, like I know I'm gorgeous, or I'm the life of the party, or I'm convinced I'm the smartest person in the room.
I'm actually gonna also play into things. I'm gonna say that I'm invincible, quote unquote.
All right. Playing into what Albert was saying about you earlier. Like, at that age, kids think that they're invincible. And you sure do.
Bonnie's kind of riding high on it.
So Albert considers himself, he knows, Frank, the sheriff has the job because he's a, older, well-respected member of the community, and people just like him and whatever, and he gets along with everybody. I'm actually the one who solves problems, and I've gotten really good at investigating things. So I know I'm a good investigator. I'm good at exploring things. This actually tends to piss people off because I actually solve crimes and get people in trouble and dig into shit that other people would really wish I just would leave alone.
All right. I'm going to write that down as I solve problems. Sound good?
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. So here in the town of Silver Moose, Alaska, a former and possibly future oil town, we've got Barney Benson, the star ice hockey player, and Albert Caldwell, the deputy sheriff. So we'll see what is going on in the town momentarily. Right now, let's take a short 5-minute break. You can go use the restroom or grab yourself a bite to eat. I am going to let these ideas percolate in my head and use the GM tools, which are in the full version of the rules and also here on the GM screen, but not in the quick start rules. to come up with the mystery. I've got some random tables that generate the skeleton of the mystery, and then you fill out the flesh of it with the details of the setting and characters that you guys have created.
Sounds good.
So
Sounds
yeah,
good to
we'll
me.
resume in a few minutes.
Back in a few. I do want to say that I've enjoyed the process so far a lot.
Good.
I am already thinking in terms of how to adapt these ideas.
Hey, Jamie's back. The sun rises on a cold, crisp autumn morning in Silver Moose, Alaska. And this morning would be like any other. People are starting up their engines, getting to go to work when a scream rings out across the town as the person who most people had thought of as having perhaps the cushiest job in town, next to Barry, who does he even have a job, or is he just rich?
They're just rich.
Yeah, which is the guy who guards the giant silver moose statue, has been brutally killed, ripped to shreds by something. When people hear the sound of the scream of the person who discovered this, people start pouring out of their homes and going to see what's up. And soon the two of you are there along with the crowd of everyone else.
Woo! Yeah, I'll definitely, I've got an old but very, very solid Jeep Wrangler that I stick my little siren thing on, and I will, of course, pull up. I'll do a quick thing of the light, and because I figure the sheriff will show up whenever he bloody shows up, because he's probably got a hangover again. But I will make some room, people. Make some room. Let me.
I have
Jesus.
a suggestion.
Yeah.
Because he's doing stuff around the clock, maybe Barney was the one unfortunate enough to find the body, and because of his hemophobia, he's just puking it up in a trash can.
Yeah, it was Barney's scream that rang out and alerted the townsfolk.
Hell, what the... Everybody back up. Get the hell back now. Everyone. Yeah. Please. So I'm totally going with the idea that my family are a bunch of Georgia transplants.
Okay.
Just because I feel like having a Southern accent for this one. Which, I was born and raised in the South, so...
All right.
I haven't used a Southern accent in a long time for gaming. So, all right, everybody just back up. Everybody back the hell up. Barney, you all right? Barney?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, just take it easy, son. Take it easy. As soon as you get yourself together, I'm going to have to ask you some questions. Meanwhile, I go over and I look at the body and try to get at least an initial assessment of what the hell happened.
Okay, so that sounds like you have a question that you'd like to try to find the answer to, which means that it's time for you to investigate.
Yeah.
So, your question is like, what happened to this guy that caused him to die?
Correct.
So the way that the investigate move works is the first thing you do is come up with the question you're trying to answer, which you just did, and now. Is it going to be just you trying to do this, or are the two of you going to cooperate? The rules for cooperation are in the full version of the rules, not in the quick start, but
I don't think Barney's not doing shit to help me right now. Poor guy is totally laying into his flaw there, which I support, and I don't need him to vomit on the crime scene. So
the most Barney's going to contribute is maybe remembering to go to his truck to turn the engine off.
It'll just be me for this one.
Okay. So now take a look at your positive tags, your wild tag, and the town tags, and pick up to 3 of those that you think will be relevant. And then we're sort of going to construct the scene out of the ones that you pick.
Deputy sheriff,
Yep,
obviously.
of course.
Good investigator, which is my wild tag, but I am a good investigator. So
yeah, I solve problems. The one, there we go.
And honestly, serious outdoorsman, because if he's been torn apart, the first thing I'm going to assume is that some wild animal was responsible for this. So I'm going to be trying to determine if this was some sort of wild animal attack, because my first concern is we got a mountain lion or something loose in the town. So those are the 3 I will invoke.
Cool. I will invoke the giant silver moose statue, which is one of the town tags, to sort of get in your way, because this is happening in the middle of town. There's a big crowd and there's people getting in your way. Yeah. So because I invoked something as a negative tag, you gain a humanity. So go ahead and mark that down.
Humanity +1.
Yep. And once you have 3 or more, then you can reveal something about yourself. And so because you invoked 3 tags and I invoked 1, you're rolling with a total of +2. So roll 2d6 +2.
All right. I should get out one of my dice trays, but let's see. I got 10. So 10 + 2 would be 12.
Okay. So if you take a look at the investigate, that's the best possible result, which is to say a 10 or higher. So if you take a look at the investigate move, you can see the 10+ options. So because you got at least a 7, you do indeed find a clue. And yeah, it does look like this person was tore up by an animal. It doesn't look like they were cut up with knives or anything like that. The cuts all have the more sort of ragged thing going on that you get from an animal claw, as opposed to sort of clean slices that you get from a knife. But the thing that's unusual about this is that if this was like a mountain lion or a polar bear, you would be seeing a lot of like groups of several slices right next to each other, because they have, you know, all these claws on the end of their paws. But you don't see that. You see like individual large slices.
That's damned odd.
It is.
Now, it looks like I can either find something useful or find an additional clue.
Yes. Yeah, so finding an additional clue basically means asking a follow-up question. So now that you know this, do you want to try to, like, does that prompt another question that you want to try to, or that you will find a clue about because you've already succeeded at this?
So this is where if I choose that, I have to mark it off.
That's right.
So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do this on my little sheet here.
Yeah.
Okay, mark off, and then find additional clue. So yeah, I'm gonna actually. So the attack looks like a wild animal attack, except it doesn't fit the normal pattern.
Right.
Tracks. I'm looking for tracks.
Okay. You don't find tracks, which is in and of itself surprising and strange. I mean, there's obviously tons of, you know, footprints and tire tracks and, you know, even the remains of snowshoes from when it snowed earlier and people were getting around on those. There's those like motorized sleigh tread tracks, but you don't see any animal tracks.
And that by itself is revelatory.
Yes.
What the hell? What the Did anyone here see anything?
No, nobody saw anything. The only person who might have seen something is torn to shreds. So, Jamie, by this point, Barney has finished emptying his stomach and has recovered a bit. So you can do things too if you would like.
Barney is now in the. He's gone and turned the engine off of his truck, and he's right now sat on the driver's seat, like popping some Mentos, trying to drink a thermos of coffee. He is trying to recover, but I would like to sort of do the old, you know, how you can do a lot of things like retroactively. I would like to do an investigate roll for when I turned up.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so because this game is meant to sort of simulate a horror movie, in movies, scenes don't always take place in chronological order. And so we can absolutely have flashbacks and things like that. So yeah, let's flash back to when you arrived and first discovered this dead body. And I'm guessing you're going to want to try to glean some information from that.
Yes, I would like to ask the question, did I see anyone or anything else at the scene? Since I was the first one who got here.
Yeah, so what tags would you like to invoke there?
I would like to invoke the statue itself. It's a landmark, so everyone knows the layout of it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
With the rumors, are they things that you can invoke?
No, those are just sort of background flavor.
Right. They're like things that are just okay.
Yeah. But you could for instance, you already established that you arrived here in your pickup truck, which, you know, like has headlights and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that can illuminate the scene. So you can invoke that.
Yeah, I'd invoke that and the moose statue.
Okay. I'm going to invoke the fact that you are perpetually sleep deprived and that you cannot stand the sight of blood. So since I invoked 2 of your negative tags, you gain 2 humanity, and you're going to be rolling with a total of +0.
Okay. An 8.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, so you see some sort of greenish light around the like you can when you arrive, you're driving back into town and you're going to like go sort of make a turn at the statue. And so your headlights don't start out pointed directly at it, but there's still some sort of greenish light there. Almost looks like the Aurora Borealis, but, you know, down low. Not exactly the color you would expect from like a flashlight. And then you make the turn, so now your headlights are pointed at the statue, and the greenish light seems to be sort of dispelled by the bright light of your headlights, and you and that is when you see the dead body, freshly killed, it seems.
I find an additional clue relevant to the question I was asking. Ask a question about my current investigation, or I find something useful.
Yes.
I feel like I find something useful.
Okay. Yeah, you let's see. So you want to find some sort of like, physical object that will be helpful to you in the future, here in the at the crime scene. So the most obvious thing to me is you take something off of the body of the security guard. Do you have something else in mind?
I was thinking it's like something on or near the body. Perhaps something that shouldn't be there.
Okay. Yeah, you find some oil. Just a little bit, but it's obviously crude, unrefined oil. You're able to like scoop it up and put it in a plastic baggie, and you can then use it as a temporary tag in future investigations. Like you could confront somebody with it, or it's a bag full of flammable stuff. So
in addition to my my like thermos of coffee, I had like a cheap plastic bottle of water that was empty.
All right. Yeah, so now you have a cheap plastic bottle of oil. Write that down as a temporary tag. Temporary tags are wild tags that will go away eventually.
So at some point when Barney is no longer exhuming the entirety of his insides, I've managed to back everybody off. At this point, I would think the sheriff has finally shown up.
Yeah.
And realizing, because he's still half awake and he knows I'm the one that handles stuff, he has a little bit of a gag. Oh, that's awful. All right, you got this, or you've got this here, Caldwell. I'll get everybody back. So he's basically helping me organize the scene, but
yeah,
he's waiting to find out what I'm going to report to him. In the meantime, I go over to Barney and go, son, you all right?
I'm pretty far from all right.
All right. No, that makes sense, and I'm
another mento.
And brief meta point, because the sheriff is not represented by a tag, like he's not a town tag and he's not a personal tag that either of you have, he's not going to be very significant to the story.
I totally, yeah. I thank you for clarifying that for purposes of understanding the game, and that makes perfect sense. Yeah, cool. He's mostly useless.
And indeed, when he shows up with Barry, who is more important. So Barry shows up and is putting on a show of being upset about his employee being killed, but is kind of, you can tell he's a little more upset by the fact that like his precious statue might have gotten damaged or something, although it doesn't actually look like it was. It has blood all over it, but it's not like anybody carved off an antler and stole a bunch of silver or anything like that. But he's happy to let you direct the sheriff to keep the townsfolk away from the scene of the crime, because that means the commoners won't be touching his shit. But he's of course ignoring that and just sort of walking right through your crime scene.
Mr. Corbin, I'm going to ask you to please take a few steps back, please. I mean no offense, sir, but this is a crime scene and it's a pretty ugly one at that. So kind of need you to step aside.
He looks down and realizes that he's like standing in some blood and steps aside to the bit and sort of scuffs his shoes in the snow or his boots in the snow to try to get the blood off of them. So he's walking around the statue, inspecting it for damage, which there doesn't seem to be any. And he's sort of staying out of the crime scene. He's doing enough to make it look like he's following the letter of your directive, but he's not really following the spirit of it.
Mr. Corbin, just out of curiosity, do you have any idea if anybody had a problem with your employee here?
Well, here, let's back up a moment. You were in the Albert was going over to talk with Barney when these people arrived.
Yes.
And Barney, it sounds like you've, calmed yourself down a little bit, eating a bunch of mementos and all that. And now that the situation's changed a bit because new people are on the scene, if the two of you have more questions you'd like to try to find the answer to, you could, for example, cooperate on an investigation check. Barney, what are you thinking?
I can't think of any questions right now.
Okay.
Now, at this point, forgive me, I'm just kind of doing with straight up natural role play here.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I wouldn't treat this as much of an investigation as a, I'm throwing a question out. If Barry wants to respond to it, he can. But I'm not declaring this an official investigation because honestly, I do not assume. I at this point I don't expect that he knows a damn thing. I will at some point later, most certainly pursue him more intently. But right now, it's just a catch him off guard and see if he says anything that's useful.
Yeah. So, in general, if we want to have there be actually a significant chance that you'll find useful information, then we do want to use the investigate move, because there's always a chance you could roll really poorly and things go totally sideways.
You know what? I'm fine with that then. Let's do that.
Okay. So he is not inclined to be cooperative, so I'm definitely going to invoke him as a negative tag. He's just in general not inclined to be a cooperative person. And what positive tags are you looking at invoking?
This may be a little odd, but I'm going to assume one or more of the suits from the oil company are around, and he probably doesn't want to look too bad in front of them.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Yes. So
he's probably not gonna be too pushy in response to me because this is all out in the open. People are all watching me talk to him.
It is.
I am deputy sheriff. That gives me a certain amount of authority that regardless of his money, he can't ignore.
Indeed.
I don't remember, is risk taker considered a positive tag?
Risk taker. So you're talking about
we went through the questions.
Right. No, so that one didn't actually give you a tag. That one just determined whether or not you did the follow-up question, which gave you the negative tag,
right.
Guilt over your girlfriend Annabelle dying while you were exploring the oil field.
Got it. No worries then. The other thing that
I have an idea.
Go for it.
So something that Barney has that obviously, since it's something that he just has and he won't have hidden it or anything, meaning Albert's almost certainly seen it, the cheap plastic bottle full of oil.
Yeah. You can.
It's just sitting there?
Oh yeah. Barney was just like, that's weird.
Yeah, so the two of you can absolutely cooperate on this. And a sort of meta point.
I was going to say, absolutely, that should be your cooperation point then.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so sort of meta point that I forgot to say earlier is that this is a very sort of narrativist game. And so one of the things that I mean by that is that in a more traditional role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons or Call of Cthulhu, you control you're basically like an actor who plays a single specific character, and you try to act exclusively from the point of view of that character. And so you're also doing that in this game, but in addition, you also take sort of a authorial, directorial point of view, and so you can have your character like stumble upon information that they weren't necessarily seeking out, or you can you're encouraged to sort of craft scenes using out of character knowledge. And so, for instance, even if even if Barney is not actively attempting to assist Albert with his investigation, he can still mechanically assist on that investigation check and we can describe that as like the plastic bottle with the oil in it just happens to be in Barney's field of view, and he notices it. And so
it's just in the truck, so Albert can just see it, and it's still like covered in melting snow and stuff like that.
Yeah, so when Albert goes over to check on Barney, he can notice that.
So you're saying the bottle is in the truck, or the bottle is in your hand where you scooped up the oil and then started vomiting?
It's in the truck, but it's still, because Barney's got his hands full of other things right now. It's just in there. It's clearly from the scene because it's still got melting snow on it from being used to scoop it up.
I want to rewind a little bit if I can.
Sure.
How would you have noticed the oil, scooped it up, ran it back to the truck, and then ran over and vomited? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
So I would say that he put it in the truck after vomiting, because then he went to the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're over by the truck where you threw it in the truck, and you're vomiting next to your truck then.
I was picturing like he discovered the scene, vomited, scooped, recovered control of himself a little, noticed the oil, scooped it up, sort of staggered back to his truck and set the oil container on his dashboard, and has been sort of trying to keep himself from throwing up more while sitting in the truck and like popping mints. And you, Deputy Caldwell has, like come over to check on and ask questions of Barney, since he knows Barney is the one who was first on the scene, and he notices the bottle of oil on the shelf, or on the dashboard. That's what I was picturing.
That works for me if it works for you.
Yeah, that was more or less what I was picturing. Barney went to get the oil while being like, "Oh, keep it together." Oh. And it's just one of those weird things that people do when they see like a shocking scene. They don't always do something that seems logical.
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, I'm standing next to he's sitting in his truck. I'm standing next to him. I'm calling out to Barry to stop messing around the crime scene.
Right.
I happen to notice the plastic bottle. So we to rewind, I'm invoking that the suits from the oil company, one or more of them is here, which is going to make him more cooperative than he normally would be.
Yep. Which
offsets the negative that you were throwing that he normally isn't, which I completely understand.
Yep.
I'm throwing out my deputy sheriff authority.
Yep. And then because there's a maximum of 3 positive tags that you can invoke, and you now have 3 that you've invoked. There's the suits from the oil company, being a deputy sheriff, and this oil that Barney found.
Right. So I'll be holding that bottle because I'm going to reach across Barry and just or not Barry, Barney, and forgive me, son. I'm assuming you found this here.
Oh yeah, it was just a slick of it on the ground.
Really, that's damned interesting. So I'm holding the bottle
Mm-hmm.
as I look at Barry and go, hey, Mr. Corbin, is there any knowledge you can share at this time regarding what's going on here? And I mean, I'm not like holding the bottle up for the whole town to see or anything, but I'm holding it in front of me, and I look down at it for a second, and I look at him, and then I actually took a glance over at the suits.
Yeah, the suits have shown up a bit late to the what's going on, and are just now starting to see this. They have, a relatively composed reaction to the dead body, are definitely interested in the bottle of oil that you're holding. So because I'm invoking one negative tag, that's Barry Corbin, the richest guy in town. Because you two are cooperating on this, both of you gain a humanity. And now roll investigate with +2.
Because it was temporary, I lose the pocket of oil, don't I? Because I used it.
Not necessarily, but probably. I'll decide that once we see what the roll is.
I got a 10.
All right, another really good result. Cool. So, so you're asking Barry what whether he knows anything about what's going on here, and you're holding up the oil as like a reason that he might. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. So that allows me to either find something useful or find an additional clue.
But remember, you already marked one of those off.
Yes, I already did the initial. I already did the additional clue. So find something useful is what I'm going to go with here, which is whatever his and whatever his reaction and the oil guy's reaction is. I'm going to gain something from their responses.
Okay. So Barry's response is just sort of indignant, like, no, of course I don't know anything about what's going on here. How could I? I'm not a polar bear, he says, gesturing at the corpse. He's like, obviously somebody's not doing a good enough job protecting this town. And the and is sort of trying to draw you into a confrontation in that regard. Although the fact that the full sheriff is right there doesn't really help his case so much. But meanwhile, one of the oil people goes over and looks at it, is like, may I? And holds out his hand to ask if he can inspect the bottle of oil.
I'd rather you didn't. This is a piece of evidence, sir. But however, Barney, where'd you find this?
Barney slowly gets out the car and he kind of like shields his face so he doesn't have to look at the body. Assuming it hasn't been chewed up, is there like a little mark in the snow and like some little drops of oil left and like a mark that's a bottle was pressed into this?
Yeah, you're able to find that.
There we go, sir. If you want to take a look at that, that's fine. But
right.
I'm going to have to hold on to this as a matter of chain of evidence.
Certainly. And when you say he's not allowed to look at it, you say he's not allowed to handle it, he, doesn't push the issue or anything. He's polite about it. So yeah, he goes over and crouches down and inspects the oil, and his compatriot goes and stands next to him, and you hear them talking. He says, yep, that's crude. Definitely didn't come out of somebody's, out of the engine of one of these trucks or anything like that. Must have come up from the ground somehow, is all I can imagine. And he sort of pushes the snow out of the way and is looking at the ground from where it might have seeped up. And indeed, he finds a small but rapidly growing crack in the ground. And the two of you need to face peril as the ground beneath the enormous, incredibly heavy moose statue suddenly gives way, as though there were some sort of empty chamber beneath it, and it collapses down into the earth beneath you.
Oh,
and you have to avoid being hit by it or pulled down with it. So to face peril, it's same basic idea as investigating, except now you're trying to tag things that might help you out in this issue.
All right. So does this work as a cooperative, or do we need to face this individually?
You need to do it individually.
Okay.
Okay.
Jamie, go ahead.
I've got 3. My brand new pickup truck. It's a truck.
Yeah.
I would also like to say that my aptitude as a mechanic is useful, because it means that even for a truck that's relatively brand new, I've done like at least the basics so that it performs well in Alaska. It's got like the chains wrapped around the tires and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
And also, I'm invincible.
I was wondering whether I should invoke that against you, but you can totally invoke it for yourself. Sweet. I am going to invoke the giant silver moose statue because that is the thing causing this peril. And because you were specifically averting your eyes from the crime scene, I'm going to invoke cannot stand the sight of blood, because that is meaning that you notice this like a split second later than you would otherwise.
Fair enough.
So you gain 2 humanity because I invoked 2 of your negative tags, and you're going to be rolling with a total of +1. So Deputy Caldwell.
I was actually going to invoke the giant silver moose statue because I was planning on jumping on the top of it, assuming or is it collapsing?
It's the ground is falling through the ground.
So the statue's falling through the ground with. Okay, so never mind. I will not invoke that then, because that would be dumb.
No.
I will invoke that I am a serious outdoorsman.
That makes sense.
Where I have a natural tendency to react, into emergency situations effectively.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's the only thing I can reasonably invoke here. Yeah. No, I don't see. Well, actually, my younger brother idolizes Barney, and Barney seems to have a good head on his shoulder than I realized.
Yeah. So, you can't actually invoke a bond because the 2 of you are not cooperating on this roll.
Okay.
But to give you some more ideas, we've already established that the suits from the oil company are on the scene here, and you have had at least a little bit of a cordial relationship so far. So you could invoke them as like, which could represent you trying to help them or them trying to help you, or both.
No, yeah, I would absolutely try to help them. You're absolutely correct.
Cool.
I thought of the most ruthless way to invoke that.
Yeah.
He said that they could look at the thing. They found the crack, so he is further away from it than they are.
That's true.
I was going more. No, I despite the fact that I personally am not happy about them being here and trying to screw the town over, my sense of honor and my sense of duty, I would be trying to help them. So,
all right. So I'm invoking the giant silver moose statue. I'm going to also invoke your guilt over your girlfriend Annabelle dying while you were exploring an oil well, because this is people potentially dying by falling into an oil pit. So, so gain 2 humanity because I invoked 2 negative tags. And then I believe you're rolling at +0.
Now, can I also bring in that I solve problems?
Sure.
This is, I was going to say, this is probably not, this is more of a physical, immediate thing as opposed to a puzzle solving thing. So no, actually, I retract that.
Okay.
Now, what happens when you have 4 or more humanity?
When you have 3 or more humanity, you can reveal something about yourself. So that move is on the last page of the quick start rules, and it lets you reveal something. It lets you improve your character in some way. This could be we could have a montage where your character gets better at something as the next scene after this. We could have a flashback revealing that this has always been an aspect of your character. It just hasn't been revealed until now. Or any other way that you choose to do it. The mechanical effect is described by the move, and it's also it lets you create a short scene that you basically just get to narrate.
But that will not apply now. That will apply after now.
Okay.
Right? I'm assuming.
So you can actually you actually could apply it right now before you roll, if you want to.
I want to apply it now.
Okay. What are you doing?
Determined. Well, no, that's sort of the point is, determined to save people.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gaining a positive tag, I'm assuming.
Yes. Determined to save people.
Cool. And you can definitely invoke that.
An immediate flashback to no, not again.
Yeah.
I will not let this happen again. And so I'm determined to save these people.
Cool. So mark off the 3 humanity. And since you're invoking that right now, that gives you a total of +1.
Yes. There you go. Thank you. I like that. I like that a lot.
All right.
I like that a lot. That is really, really cool. All right. So yes, as remembering her in the movie, it would be, we were messing around in the well. She went too far down. She started to fall. I couldn't reach her in time. Now we got this huge crack opening up. These guys are there. And no, I'm not going to let this happen again.
Okay. So roll with a total of +1. And Jamie, what did I believe you also rolled with a total of +1? What did you get?
I did. I rolled an 8.
Oh, that's good.
Given the situation, I managed to escape unscathed, but something in the town doesn't. The moose statue.
So I got a 9 + 1 is 10. I am really doing quite well in this game so far.
You're rolling really well. Okay, so rolling. So we'll start with Jamie. Yeah, you got an 8. And you picked the dot option. You managed to escape unscathed, but something in town doesn't. Yes. So I was hoping somebody would pick that. That's one of my favorite options. So if you hadn't picked that, then perhaps it only would have been partially fallen into the pit. But since you did, the moose statue completely disappears below the surface of the earth and falls down into the chasm that has opened up beneath the town center. Meanwhile, Deputy Caldwell, you are not only unhurt, you're managing to do something particularly heroic.
I'm going to under the face peril, one of the options is you make or reveal a connection with an NPC who helps you out. Gain a wild tag naming them. Mr. Johnson, one of the two oil executives that I just rescued. I am now, this person is going to feel indebted to me and become a positive contact.
Yeah, fantastic. That makes perfect sense. You managed to pull Mr. Johnson out of the path of the collapsing statue, and he normally prides himself on being, very composed and dignified, but he's scared nearly shitless by almost falling into this chasm, and is very grateful to you for doing that. Meanwhile, because you guys actually did quite well on this, the rest of the townsfolk who are around are also doing well. Barry Corbin was far enough away that he just sort of watched the whole thing happen. He didn't run forward to try to grab anybody, and he didn't have to scramble to safety. He just observed it and yells out about no, my statue. And unfortunately, the one person who does fall down in there is the dead body, which of course can't scramble to get out of the way.
I can only assume that the reason a lot of people, that no one was seriously hurt, was probably a lot of people saw Barney getting ready to be now I'm driving further away from that, and a lot of people probably just jumped in the flatbed of the truck.
Yeah, certainly several people did that, and because you asked the sheriff, Deputy Caldwell, to form a perimeter, most folks aside from you and the oil executives were already a safe distance away.
By the way, I've decided to call him Mr. Johnson of Lionel Oil. That's the name of the company.
Oil executive at Lionel Oil. Can't spell Lionel without oil.
Exactly.
Okay, so
damn, if I could give you a personal asset, take a bonus, something, I would, because you absolutely nailed that. That was one of the reasons I chose that name.
Oh yeah, my brain is constantly rearranging letters and words to try to spell other things.
Well,
for some reason.
Well fucking done. Well done. Because that was exactly where I was going. You can't spell Lionel without oil. I was trying to find a cool name that. Yeah. So
thank you.
Wow, you just burrowed right into my brain. That's kind of scary.
Fantastic.
Anyway, there we go. Mr. Johnson of Lionel Oil now considers me someone he is indebted to and friendly to.
Yeah. So because this is a movie, most movies don't detail every single minute of the day following the characters' lives. Instead, it's divided up into scenes, and I think that's a good conclusion for this scene. The dust, which is really snow that's been kicked up, is settled. You hear the echoing sounds of the statue falling down, and then a splat as it hits something you can probably guess down below, and Mr. Johnson expressing his heartfelt gratitude to you for pulling him out of the way of danger.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure, sir. It is, in fact, my duty, and I'm grateful to y'all for cooperating, but damn, we have ourselves a situation here, don't we?
Sure do.
Have y'all been drilling without us knowing?
Well, he glances at his compatriots and sort of adjusts his tie a bit, and then we cut to the next scene. And one of the things that the moves, especially the investigate move, is supposed to do is create scenes. And so now, if you want to create a scene where you might find the answer to that, let's do it with the investigate move.
Understood.
So we can no longer invoke the giant silver moose statue because it has been marked off thanks to the result of that face peril. And so the things like where this next scene takes place will be determined by like what tags you guys invoke. So we know what Deputy Caldwell wants. Barney, or rather Jamie, what do you want Barney to be doing in the next scene?
I have an idea for how Barney gets caught up in this. If you don't have one, Jamie, if you do, by all means, roll with it.
Barney, with his, being a budding geologist, would probably go and read up on, the local topography and surveying stuff. Be like, what the hell was that? What was that about?
Okay. Yeah. So we might have
absolutely.
We might have sort of if you guys happen to be doing that in the same place, we can have this be a single scene, or we can have this play out as sort of two simultaneous scenes that we cut between.
I like it. I like this as two separate scenes. In my head, Barney is off digging into the books and doing that whole thing that no one would ever expect him to do. Oh my God, I love that. I really love that. Yeah, no one would expect Barney, the hockey, stud, to be off, studying what the hell happened and why all that happened, while I'm actually conducting the official investigation.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Great.
I have a second tag I'd like to invoke though, since we decided that I wasn't told it was lost. I will also invoke the oil in my studies.
All right. Yeah. And then I think after this, well, I won't commit either way just yet. Cool. So you're invoking budding geologist and the temporary tag bottle of oil.
Yep.
Which I will relent that under the circumstances, Caldwell completely forgot about it. and we can totally, flash back to a scene where Barney looks around and snatches it back up out of the ground as everyone separates.
Yeah, I think Deputy Caldwell dropped it in the chaos while grabbing that oil executive.
Yeah.
Barney manages to fish it out like right on the very edge of the chasm.
Yeah. Cool. So I am going to invoke as a negative tag on your investigation the town's obsession with ice hockey, because you have a hockey game this evening that you're supposed to get to, and that social obligation might impede on the amount of time that you're able to dedicate to looking things up. So gain a humanity, and
we're really hardcore about ice hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, that was a murder. The star player found the body.
Doesn't matter.
Turn up to the game.
Hey, man, your friends.
Everything I know about Alaska. Yeah. No, their local hockey leagues are pretty freaking hardcore. I've got friends who live in Alaska, and they tell me, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and your your fellows on the ice hockey team are, of course, completely convinced that, you just had a traumatic experience. The thing to do is get your mind off it and focus on, what's really important in life. Hockey.
You had two traumatic experiences right next to each other.
Can we call a brief break?
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks. I'd appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to attempt to be heroic and do good guy things. So we'll see how that plays with this system.
Yeah. So you each are doing separate investigations. We already determined the tags that you're invoking. So go ahead and roll. And Jamie, I believe you already rolled for Barney Benson's investigation.
I rolled a 4.
Ooh, that's really bad.
I've come up with a rough idea for to suggest, even though ultimately it's your choice.
I'm curious to hear your idea.
I was thinking of the you end up in a treacherous situation and likely have to face peril, where either while he's in the public library doing his reading, or just as he's leaving, it's getting on, it's sort of the evening, it's getting dark, and this vaguely familiar, ominous green light seems to be coming over wherever he is.
Oh, dear gods.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that is going to happen. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Meanwhile, Deputy Caldwell.
Yeah, I actually asked Mr. Johnson to meet me for a coffee at the local diner. I tried not to make it feel too ominous, tried to be casual about it, but it is still an interrogation. But I'm like, hey, let me buy you coffee, and you try some of their donuts. They are some of the best in the state. But I do want to talk to you about what happened. So I am using that make a connection positive tag. There's the find something useful oil execs. I'm trying to remember. I didn't write enough notes down about that, but
he's now a wild tag that you have.
Right, but there was also something that I marked off earlier. Find something useful.
Oh, yeah, that was on the 10 plus.
Yeah,
you marked that off earlier.
Right. So I'm saying that because I did mark it off, it becomes a tag for me. Yeah.
Well, wait, I think you.
When you mark something off, what does that become?
So when you mark off an option, that means that you can't select that option again until you recover it somehow.
Oh.
And so sometimes that option will give you a new tag that you can use going forward. Sometimes that option will just give you more information. Or like in Face Peril, sometimes that option will just do something bad.
Okay. Right. So in this case, it was a clue. It was not. It was information. It was not a tag. Got it.
Right.
All right. So no problem. But the connection, I am definitely invoking for this.
Yes.
I am. Once again, I feel like I'm being repetitive, but I can't help it because it does make sense. I'm invoking Deputy Sheriff.
Yeah.
So there's the authority of that. And I'm gonna.
If I can interject before you make your last choice there,
Yes,
something that you did earlier, which was exactly on point for how it's supposed to work, is several earlier in the story you invoked the suits from the oil company tag, which brought those characters into the scene. And so, for instance, if you wanted another character who is represented by a tag, such as Officer Dieter, the closeted lesbian state police officer, if you want to bring her into the story, the way to do that is to invoke her tag.
Oh, I absolutely was. Thank you. Yes, thank you. That's a great idea. I will ask her to meet us as well, because at this point, there's something horrible happened. Something extra horrible happened on top of that. We need the state police here.
Okay.
So yes.
I'm going to invoke the suits from the oil company tag. So gain a humanity because I'm invoking a negative tag there. And so while this one Mr. Johnson, he's cooperative because he's feeling grateful to you. The other ones are less cooperative because that you didn't save their lives; they saved their own lives. So go ahead and roll with +2.
I think Johnson also has a little bit of fear and or guilt over whatever it is that they know is going on.
Quite
Maybe.
possibly, yeah.
I mean,
we'll find out.
The fact is, I don't know, but I'm throwing that out into the narrative mix.
Yeah,
but yes, my buddy, the state police officer, Dieter, joins me. I will make it very, very clear. I'll be open and honest with you, Mr. Johnson. We are having a chat about what's going on. I've had to call the state police in because this is becoming a pretty big situation. I do not want you to feel personally attacked or offended or anything. I need to know what's going on, and so does she.
Right. And
plus, she's
yeah.
gonna be flirting with. Hang on, I wrote her name down. Hang on, just a second. Jeannie Mayer, who works at the diner during the day and is a bartender at the Dead Moose, which is the name of the bar, at night. So yeah, she's gonna be flirting with her. It's gonna be all nice and fun and quirky. And this is totally Fargo to me. All right, I've totally
never actually seen Fargo.
The original movie is so weird and quirky and fun.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Rolling. Well, you said I was at what, a +2?
Yeah, because I invoked 1 negative tag and you invoked 3 positive tags. So yes,
so
+2.
I have 7 +2 becomes a 9.
Great. So you're going to look at the 7 through 9 options. And sorry, remind me, what was the question you're trying to answer here?
Oh, that's true. I was going with the broad-based, what do you know? But I suppose I need to be a little more specific. No.
Yeah.
I take it back. No, the question is, what do you know?
Okay.
What does Mr. Johnson know about this situation?
Okay. So so what he knows.
Hold on.
Hold
on. If I may.
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm looking at either I get to find an additional clue relevant to the question you're asking, ask a question about your current investigation, then mark this off.
Yeah.
You find something useful during your investigation, you get a temporary tag.
Yep.
Or I can, while I'm investigating, something significant happens elsewhere, recover the other 2 options.
Yes.
No, I haven't spent those options. Can I recover other options?
No, only the 7 through 9 range. It has to be those 2.
Never mind then, because if I could, I would have said, screw it, something happens, and but I haven't spent those options, so I'm not going to then. As a side note, recover 2 other options might be an interesting choice here. I don't know if it's too late to have. I don't know how far we are into development.
Kickstarter starts October 4th. So
yeah, no,
pretty late.
But as an optional rule, for me, I would be like, well, I've got some stuff I want to recover here. I would totally burn while you're investigating something significant happens, which is the green light thing happening to Jamie's character, and me having to suddenly run off and go deal with that. I would totally burn it so that I don't get anything from here, because I need to go respond to that.
I hear you. But at the moment, the narrative structure here that's being affected by the rules is the green light thing is happening to Jamie's character, Barney Benson, because of the results of his check. And so I don't think we need that in order for this to happen. But instead, so your question is, what do they know about this? Well, he doesn't know anything about the animal attack. He has no clue what that's about. And as far as he's concerned, that's just something that is an unrelated terrible coincidence. He does know that the negotiations to try to get rights to drill some traditional oil rigs in town have been going on longer than the company is happy with. And so the company's been advancing their own projects separately from that. Meanwhile, in the library, Barney Benson has the bottle of oil on and one of those old incandescent bulb lamps on his desk as he's poring over books, and we just see him turn open a book, and he's drawing his finger down the page, and we see something about slant drilling when Barney looks up because there's a strange green glow coming from behind the bookshelf, and then Barney needs to first encounter true horror and then face peril as the bookshelf is knocked over, spilling the bottle of oil and breaking the bulb on the lamp, which ignites the oil and sets the library on fire. And the thing,
oh my god!
And the thing that knocked over the bookshelf, and the reason you have to encounter true horror, is the ghost of a stegosaurus.
Okay.
There is a glowing green stegosaurus inside of the library, and it's not happy.
I wrote a 7 on Encounter True Horror.
All right, that's not too bad.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Just to be sure that I'm marking this correctly.
Yeah.
I'm going with you find an additional clue relevant to the question you were asking. Ask a question about your current investigation, then mark this off. So what I'm going with is right now, I know that Mr. Johnson has revealed that the company, unsatisfied with negotiations, has engaged in its own operations,
Yes.
right, likely illegally. What in my mind, in the movie, what I'm seeing is we cut to the scene where this horrible thing's happening to Barney. Then, just so you know, just cinematically, I'm looking like me slamming the table. What in the hell have you people done? And then you can give me the next thing, which will be the second part of that. But I'm going and writing this down as something that's marked off.
Yeah, go. That works perfectly. The thing that they've been doing is they've repurposed some of the old wells in the old previously abandoned oil field to be, instead of traditional straight up and down wells, they're doing what's called slant drilling, which is a usually illegal practice where if you've got a piece of property that has a bunch of oil underneath it that you don't have legal access to, you set up a diagonal oil well, and as they put it in that one movie, you drink their milkshake.
That was exactly where I was going. It's like, I have a very long straw and I drink your milkshake. Yeah, that was exactly where I was going.
So that's what they're doing. And
you're drinking their milk. You're drinking the milkshake from under the town.
That's
really
true. And therefore, leaving what was previously caverns filled with oil and therefore relatively structurally sound are now turning into empty caverns underneath the town, which is why the statue fell through the ground. But meanwhile, back at the library, we've got our first Encounter True Horror roll of the evening, which, I should have called for that earlier when you guys saw the dead body, but oh well. So the way that this works is you roll 2d6 and add your current amount of horror, which at the moment is 0. And then after you roll, you gain a horror.
Did we do the face peril yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're doing first encounter true horror, then face peril.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So yeah, you see the ghost of a Stegosaurus wrecking the library, and you rolled a 7, so that's not too bad. Tell us about what happens.
Okay. I feel like it's got to be you notice something useful in the fear, because I can only assume that the Stegosaurus didn't appear at random. There must be something that it seems in particular pissed off at that's made it appear here.
There is. It steps down on your bottle of oil, crushing it, and then because it also, broke the lamp and stuff, igniting it. And then that seems to have dispelled it or satisfied it or something, because it turns into an amorphous green glow and then goes away. But you also just had like a bookshelf knocked down on top of you, and you're in a library that's on fire. So you need to face peril.
Yeah, okay. So
I am going to invoke the temporary tag of the bottle of oil as a negative tag. And you go ahead and mark it off.
Okay. I am going to invoke Star Ice Hockey Player.
Okay.
And my brand new pickup truck, because what Barney does is the pickup truck is parked outside, so he jumps through a window into the flatbed of the truck.
Okay. I'm going to invoke your I'm invincible tag, because jumping through a window is actually pretty dangerous, but it's the kind of thing that somebody who thinks of themselves as invincible would totally do.
So, yeah, I deliberately didn't invoke it as positive, because I was like, this is a really dumb idea. I'm going to leave that to be invoked as negative.
Fantastic. So gain 2 humanity and mark off the bottle of oil, and then roll with, I believe, a +0.
Yep. Okay, I rolled exactly 7.
Oh,
Nice,
man.
Pick one of those options. And none of the town tags were invoked by either of us on this roll, so there's you can't mark one of those off.
I suffer a minor injury. My temporary tag will be because it's a fairly minor injury, but it, relatively speaking, it bleeds a fair bit in a very inconvenient place. Cut above the eyes.
But you lose a temporary tag you invoked in the scene. Or gain a temporary tag. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, and since I was the one who invoked the bottle of oil temporary tag, he can't pick to get rid of that. So he gains a temporary tag indicating a minor injury.
Cut above the eyes. Got it.
Cool. So yeah, you dive through the window and escape with only some minor bleeding, and land in the back of your pickup truck, scramble out, get into the driver's seat, and peel off away from the now burning library.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the diner, Deputy Caldwell has learned about the conspiracy to steal the town's oil.
Do you understand what this means?
The Mr. Johnson is like, looks like he's about to answer when the other suit, who's not an oil executive himself, rather he's a lawyer, sort of interrupts him and is like, we're not prepared to confirm or deny understanding of the consequences of these actions that my client really should not have said out loud, but
yeah, whatever the hell. The evidence is pretty damn clear, so y'all go ahead and line up your forces and what have you. But he looks over at Johnson. You have a choice to make, sir. You have a choice to make, and then there's like the fire going on. Oh hell! Now what? And I run outside because, of course, at this point the library is on fire.
Indeed. Yeah. So you run outside and you see the library going up in flames, and you also see Barney Benson speeding away from the library in his truck. That you've
Barney, with the cut above the eyes, Barney definitely does not get very far.
Barney! Barney!
All right, you slam on the brakes outside of the diner and only skid a little bit, since we've already established you've got snow chains on. And you come to a stop in front of the deputy who's waving his arms in front of you.
The hell, boy? What's going on? What happened to your eye?
Something oil.
You ain't making any sense, son. Calm it down. Take a breath. Take another breath. Now, what is going on?
Why
is the library on fire?
We have a pretty weird problem.
Silver Moose Volunteer Fire Department, if you've not already been advised, the library's on fire. Would you please do something about that?
Yeah, they're anyone who was asleep gets woken up by your dispatch call, and anybody who is awake is already on their way. So yeah, people are going and putting out the fire.
You look like you've seen a ghost, son. What's going on?
Oh, I love that line.
Well, depending on how you look at it. This was one of those things where it's to cut a long story short. Barney brings up the weird green glow he saw as he drove in towards the statue this morning, and then moves on to recounting the same green glow. And I know this sounds crazy, but a ghost dinosaur did it.
All right. So at this point, Thomas, I actually want to invoke my bookworm tag because I want to potentially call back to something perhaps that I'm totally invoking a whole crazy scene here. The reason why he and Annabelle were digging around the old oil well is because they had heard stories about ghostly dinosaurs and they wanted to see if they could find one. That's why they went there. That's why she died, is because they were looking for evidence of these ghostly dinosaurs.
Okay, so you want to have a scene that's like a flashback?
Yeah.
Investigation? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you
does that work?
Yeah, that does work. So Barney tells you about the ghostly dinosaur, and your eyes widen and we flash back to this prior investigation scene many years ago.
Right. So
I'm
invoking the old abandoned oil field town.
I'm going to invoke the abandoned oil field as a negative because we know this doesn't end up well for poor Annabelle.
That's true.
So
Fair.
But you can invoke your bookworm tag that you already mentioned.
I will invoke the bookworm tag. I will invoke the good investigator tag.
Okay.
And the now the newly acquired determined to save people tag.
Okay. And I am not going to invoke the guilt over girlfriend Annabelle dying because this is the scene where that gets established. So roll with a total of +2 and remember to gain a humanity because I invoked one of your negative tags.
Since now I have 3 humanity, let me see if I want to do something with that. We're going with we see an aspect of your character we haven't seen before, either because it was just revealed or because it's brand new. This is perfect. This is exactly like this is. Oh my God, Thomas.
Yes.
You're fucking brilliant. This is really really well done. What is it? A flashback, a training montage, a shopping spree, get a positive tag representing. Well, for the nature of the movie, it seems to make sense. Suppressed belief in the supernatural.
Okay.
I am adding that as my new positive tag. Suppressed belief in the new supernatural.
Oh, and sorry, thing that I forgot to call out explicitly when it happened. When Barney Benson got below a 6 or got a 6 or below on the investigate check, that gives you a foreboding.
We get a foreboding.
Well, no, just Barney does because he was the only one involved in the check.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you. So he reveals this to me. I think back on this. I have this flashback. Right. So now I am rolling at +2.
Yes.
My dice have been really good to me up to now, but actually it's not bad. Still end up with an 8.
Yeah, that's not bad. So what is the question you guys you're trying to answer in this flashback?
It is. Well, I was literally asking him. He was going, and he said, "A supernatural, a ghost dinosaur did it." So I guess what I'm going for is, what is at the heart of all of this?
Yeah, so you are out exploring the old abandoned oil field with your girlfriend Annabelle, and you she's pushing to have go climb inside of this old pit, which you're not sure you're comfortable with, but she's pushing to do it, so you agree, and then she's going and she starts to slip, and you reach out and you manage to grab her hand and you're going to be able to pull her up, but then there's this sort of green glow emanating from the darkness down deeper in the pit, and looking down you see it and you think like, I can't, like, what is that? And she turns around and she's like, also wondering what it is, and is so caught up and fascinated in it that it's even distracting her from the mortal danger that she's in, when out of the darkness you see something that up until this moment you had dismissed as yourself, like up until the present day that we're flashing back from, you had dismissed as being crazy, but it looks for all the world like a Tyrannosaurus Rex reaches up, bites Annabelle's leg, and pulls her screaming down into the darkness. So I'm going to say that you have to encounter true horror as you flash back to this moment and realize that that thing that you had dismissed as just something, it must have been your imagination playing tricks on you, it did in fact happen.
Yep. Oh.
People just assume you were in Vietnam or something. It's actually about a fucking T-Rex biting your girlfriend in half.
Because no, I was a kid back then anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I love it. I love it. This is perfect. This is perfect. So I'm rolling on the encounter true horror.
That's right.
I do not currently have any horror, unless you want to say that somehow I have accumulated any.
No,
you did say that I should have accumulated something.
Yeah, but I mean, since I messed up, we're just moving past that. Unless you guys feel like doing a flashback to
No. I want to say that the shredded up body had to have been
okay. Yeah, you guys. If I'd been more on top of things, I would have called for you guys to encounter true horror when you saw the shredded up body.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a point of horror for that, because it really does. Because I'm going to retroactively say that, because now that I have a chance to think about everything that I've seen, the dinosaur biting her and dragging her down, and the horrible, vicious attack I saw on the body, that's got to accumulate. So we're going to go with this with the +1, the +1 on the die roll. And I roll a 6, +1 is 7. So that says I either notice something useful in the fear and get a clue, or I spot an opportunity and put either myself or someone else in danger to take advantage of it, or my trauma is starting to pile up, gain additional horror, but recover the other two options, which I haven't spent the other two options.
Right.
So that doesn't matter. I'm going to discover hold on, I'm reading. So if I spot an opportunity, the spell will require a sacrifice, and you don't tell one of your fellow casters that, or perhaps you can leap in between your allies and the creature to aid their escape, or perhaps you knock your, no, that doesn't make sense at this point. So something useful in the fear, gain a clue, perhaps you spot such a weakness, the creature just surprised you. So yeah, I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with the know something useful. There's this moment where I flash back and remember, but in doing so, I gain an insight to what's going on.
Yes. So you didn't see the green glow, much less a ghostly dinosaur, until there was like active intrusion onto the like the oil pit. And so it's not like you were just walking around and then suddenly attacked by dinosaurs. You were like climbing into their thing, disturbing the oil that was down there.
Right? Which is, or you're saying that because we intruded on that space. Sorry, you totally cut off.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I got cut off. Yeah, so nobody the ghostly dinosaurs didn't attack you just out of nowhere. They only attacked once you like went into the space that had the oil in it. And when you scrambled out of the hole, they didn't follow you. And earlier we established that they attacked at the at the statue where oil was seeping up out of the ground, and they attacked in the library where that bottle of oil was. And they haven't attacked anywhere else.
Got it. I will jump into the passenger seat of Barney's truck. The old oil field, now. Go!
I can barely see. Oh, you notices that there's like blood all over his hand that he's pressed up against his brow, and he looks at it and he's like, oh.
Can you drive, son, or do I need to?
Oh, you drive.
And we do the weird, very uncomfortable seat shuffle.
No, but Barney just gets out the driver's seat and walks around the truck.
All right.
Just roots around in the glove box. He's an avid mechanic. Of course he has a first aid kit in the glove box.
And of course there's a shotgun in the gun rack.
I don't have a gun, I'm afraid. You have a gun, you're a cop.
Well, I was just assuming, whatever. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
I know what's going on.
Do just the two of you want to head out to the oil field together, or do you want to try to rile up some sort of posse?
No time. And no one's going to believe us anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go investigate the ghost dinosaurs. What the hell are you two talking about?
My point is to do some. I have a scene in my head of what's going to happen, but what I need to do is go and find where the oil company has been. I'm not looking for the old. I'm going to the old oil field, but I'm going to wherever it is that they've got like new construction, and they've obviously set up operations.
That means you can definitely get your state trooper friend to help, because they've just talked about illegal slant drilling. That's a crime. You should get the state police involved.
Oh well, so there's totally going to be a whole moment where I'm like, Trooper Dieter, you need to arrest those gentlemen immediately, and you need to call in Alaska. What do you call it? It'd be ABI, Alaska Bureau of Investigation, because each state has their own.
Okay,
ABI.
That makes sense.
You need to call in ABI because these people have illegally drilled with slant drilling, and it has caused a serious risk and danger to our town. I'm on my way out to the scene to try to shut this thing down. I'll appreciate any backup you can send.
Okay, so you want to try to you want to shut it down. So that's definitely going to be facing peril, because the people who are out there, which includes Barry Corbin and the suits other than Mr. Johnson, do not want you to shut it down. So tell me about like the strategy that each of you is taking to try to do this.
Well, I'm driving out there. I fully intend to literally use his amazing, awesome new truck to, literally just slam through whatever security fences, gates, whatever they have.
Yeah.
This is a total crazy action scene here.
And to be fair, this is a truck meant for Alaska. It's got a big old bumper. It can take it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to make you face peril to drive through a chain link fence in your big truck. That just works. You will have to face peril to try to get them to stop, though. So
I already know how I see this ending, but yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
Do you pull out one of those like tiny like police lights and slap it on the top of the truck.
Yeah, absolutely. If Thomas doesn't have a problem with that, then I absolutely will.
You.
You don't have. Well, you know what? Actually, I take that. I understand oil operations pretty damn well. The first thing I will do as soon as we bash through the gate is I will be looking for the storage area that I think is going to have the dynamite in it.
Okay. Yeah, so you can I'm going to say that that's like you invoking the abandoned oil field tag to take advantage of the resources that are available because of that.
Mhm.
So you get to do that. I'm going to say that Barry Corbin is out there trying to like he's overseeing this because he's in favor of the slant drilling operation, and he's yelling at you and trying to get everyone to, like, assuming that you're yelling about what's going on and how they need to stop this. He's going to talk about how you're crazy, your whole family's crazy, nobody should trust you. So I'm going to invoke, for your face peril, I'm going to invoke Barry Corbin, and that your family has a negative history, and Barry knows this.
Yep. So there'll be 2 negatives. Yeah.
Yep.
So does that come out as? Oh wait, I already spent that humanity, so I am down to the 2 humanity. Okay, for that.
And then, and so while Deputy Caldwell is trying to get to the storage shed to steal some dynamite, what is Barney doing?
Barney is going to do his best to not die. Since I assume these oil people, since we're having to face peril, they are, as certain people would say, rude dudes.
Yeah, so for you, I think I'll invoke the suits from the oil company, because they don't want you crashing in, trespassing on their private property and attempting to do something with their equipment. What else?
Get out of here. Tell my
I
brother.
know what.
The cut above your eyes.
Get out of here. And
Yeah, it's
tell
quite
my
hard
brother
to
I
see,
love him.
Yeah. But you.
I know what I'm going to invoke.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Since it is the MVT of the game, most valuable truck, I'm going to invoke the truck. It can take a beating. I can use that to protect myself.
Yeah.
I will also invoke the in case the truck doesn't pan out. I'm also a star ice hockey player, so
you're also a pretty tough dude.
I was gonna also say that so the snow and the ice isn't so inconvenient because at least on some level I'm used to having to move on it.
Yeah.
And also, since they're the suits from the oil company, and we've established that they also like this about me, I'm a budding geologist. Do they really want to hurt me, man? Come on, come on.
Oh, I was expecting you to invoke the mechanical knowledge, since I think you guys are trying to sabotage their equipment.
Well, I think it sounds to me like Barney is actually trying to survive.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest with you, I'm not. So it'll be a moment of, we slam up to the building. He's taking care of his eyes so he can see better now. And I look at him, I'm like, Barney, you're a good kid. Take care of my brother. And then I run in to grab the dynamite. And I know I'll tell you, I can tell you what I'm planning on invoking for my challenge, which is
the abandoned oil, because that's where you find the dynamite.
Right. Suppressed belief in the supernatural, meaning at this point, I now know what I'm dealing with, and I need to stop these guys from further provoking these spirits.
Yes.
And my determined to save people.
All right. I like that. Cool. So both of you have your total now that you're going to add. Go ahead and roll 2d6 and add it, and then let's consult the face peril options.
And just as an extra nudge, there's been this history between I'm invoking a bond here for a story point. There's been this history between Albert and Barney, where Albert has always given Barney a hard time because Barney is my brother's idol and has been the idol of all these kids in the town, and he's always considered Barney to be more irresponsible. But this most recent situation has changed that. In the movie, there's this moment of him looking at Barney and going, "It's going to be up to you." I mean, it's not said, but it's unspoken. It's up to you to live up to the reputation you've built for yourself. So I just want to throw that in there as a story point.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, Albert's such a wholesome guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I've always I started playing Dungeons and Dragons in 1976 when my mother bought me the first box set at a Spencer's at Columbus Mall. I was the first dungeon master in Smyrna, Georgia, and the moment Advanced Dungeons and Dragons came out and Paladins were an option, that's all I ever played. Was Paladins. So that should tell you something about me.
I get told I engage in too much Judge Dredd morality to be a paladin.
So yeah, there we are. So I forget how many negatives that you threw at me there, Thomas.
I believe I invoked 2 negative tags for both of you.
All right. Well, I had 3 positive tags, so I ended up with a +1. So I end up with a 10+.
Oh man, continuing to do great.
Again, I rolled 9 on the damn dice. The dice have decided that in this particular movie, I get to do the hero thing.
Very nice. And do the hero thing without getting significantly injured, which you still could have done hero things even if you'd gotten a lower result.
So I don't know how you want to approach Henley's. I have in my head what happens for my character, but I want to make sure you guys have your stuff resolved as well.
Yeah. So what do you get on your roll, Jamie?
I got an 8, and I'm once again going to do. You managed to escape unscathed, but something in the town doesn't.
All right. What are you marking off?
That Barry tries to stop me from leaving, and because of the snow and the blood in my eyes, I run him down.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's perfect, actually.
Yeah. So,
and obviously, because this is like a 1980s like cheesy horror movie, he like RoboCop explodes.
Yeah, you cut him in half with the extended bumper of your lifted pickup truck. And meanwhile, Deputy Caldwell successfully finds the dynamite. What does he do with it?
Oh, we're talking total 80s movie here. The security guards are firing at him. He's avoiding all of them. Pulls out an old trusty lighter that he got from his father long ago. Has a little moment, a mental flashback of his father saying, "Go with your gut, son. That's all you got in the end."
All right.
And he runs into the facility that is operating the slant mining operation, and he literally just lights this giant stack of dynamite and throws it. And then there is the absolute classic 80s scene where he's running away and the explosion happens behind him as he leaps, and is blown clear of it. Because I did get the role I got.
I'd like to say that just as it's lit up, Albert manages to just catch the moment where Barry tries to stop the truck and just gets pulverized.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So your experience and your success to fix you for the better, you get a positive tag. I'm going to go with the positive tag would be understands the world is more than we think it is.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but if for some reason I were to continue playing this character.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's not going, this is the climactic scene, of course. So it's not going to matter mechanically going forward, but it determined, the whole point of this game, and indeed I would say all role-playing games, is to tell an interesting story together, and this conclusion to your character's story arc, I think, is a good one.
He understands that the world is more than it was. The place is blown to unholy hell, and in the aftermath, he's able to establish that he was ending an imminent threat to his town. And so even though most people are not going to know anything about the ghostly dinosaurs or whatever, they are going to know that the slant mining was literally threatening the town. And, there's enough damage that was done that, he's able to justify his actions. He becomes sheriff. Him, Barney, state trooper Dieter.
So it sounds like you're want to describe the epilogue.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a moment. I want to finish describing this scene, and then there's actually a mechanic for the epilogue that's in the full version of the rules, but not in the quick start.
So my apologies. Please
no
continue.
worries. So you light the dynamite and it explodes, destroying the slant oil rig and igniting the oil that it had been pumping. So a pillar of flame, it goes up into the sky, and along with it, a strange green glow that you can almost see the outlines of different dinosaurs seems to be rising upwards into the sky and dispersing and turning into the beautiful aurora borealis that spreads out and displays a sense of almost supernatural calm despite the chaos of the events below. You stand up from the, where you landed in the snow and brush it off yourself as you see Barney bring his car to a halt with the mangled corpse of Barry, the richest man in town, stuck to his grill. And the two of you watch as the ghosts of the dinosaurs that were residing in the oil are laid to rest, as no one can make use of that oil any further going forward because it is all burning up. And now
I would like to say,
yes,
I would like to say that as like presumably like the state police turn up, we just have Albert and Barney looking out, and then Barney realizes what just happened, and it just hard cuts from the scene where Barney goes to just puke all over the floor.
yes, perfect. Great. And so that concludes the main story here. And so all that remains is the epilogue. And the way that the epilogue move works is it has two parts. The first part is you pick the scene that was like, pick the moment in the game that was most emotionally significant for your character and tell us about it. And then you decide if it involved your character being scared, then you gain a horror. If it involved your character overcoming some sort of obstacle, then you gain a humanity. And if you think it will have repercussions going forward into the future, then you gain a foreboding. You can pick one, two, or all three of these. And then after you've done that, you can make as many revelations as you have the horror, humanity, or foreboding to do. And those are like short scenes that we either see just before the credits, or like as the credits roll, or after the credits. So for each of you, what was the most emotionally significant moment for your character?
You go first, Jamie.
Okay. I would say that it was for Barney, the entire statue scenario playing out, because basically a significant portion of the town square falling into the earth is going to have repercussions. It was pretty horrifying to find that body, and also overcame the obstacle of not falling into a pit to my death.
Indeed. All right, so you gain a horror and a humanity and a foreboding. Sean, what was the most emotionally significant moment for Deputy Caldwell?
The moment that he realized that he was able to the flashback where he recognized that the utterly insane, impossible thing that he remembered when Annabelle died actually was true.
All right.
And that the spirits of these creatures being disturbed by the evil of the oil company was an ongoing trauma that his town had been suffering all this time. It was real, and only he could do something about it. That was his most significant moment.
Cool. So which of the three options would you say that fits the criteria of?
Definitely humanity. I'm not going to say horror, because he defeated the horror, and he's feeling confident about that. But if it happened here, what does it mean for the rest of the world?
Ooh,
because this can't be the only place where this is true. What other horrors are we ecologically doing to our world that we don't even know?
Dun dun dun.
So foreboding, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So now, if you have 3 or more humanity or horror or foreboding, you can make the related revelation. And if you have like 6 or more, you can do it twice, etc. So I have not been keeping track of your guys' humanity, horror, or foreboding. What are your totals looking like?
I have 3 horror, 8 humanity, and 2 foreboding.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jamie.
So I will mark off a negative tag and gain a related wild tag. Sleep deprived. I am reliant on like various legal stimulants to stay awake.
Fantastic. And you have up to 2 more moves that you can make, I believe.
Yep. I would also I'd actually like to mark off another negative tag into a wild tag of unpopular among my peers to the wild tag of controversial, and because Barney didn't really do that much besides provide the car, quote unquote hero.
Oh no! You were absolutely entirely vital to what happened. So,
well, from your perspective, but from the townsfolk in general who didn't witness what happened, the some people would consider you a hero, some people not, given that you killed the richest guy in town and blew up the old oil well.
The fact that now I haven't gotten to mine yet, but who will soon be Sheriff Caldwell seems to take a much stronger liking to and interaction with you. That, which again, I completely agree. There are some people like, oh shit, that sheriff guy that is always getting people in trouble because he doesn't let us get away with anything, likes Barney. Well, fuck that. So I could totally see that being a mixed blessing.
Yeah. Cool. And do you want to let the horror sink in?
Well, the pickup took a bit of a beating, so I'll say that I can't rely on it as I used to.
Well, that and it's got Barry Corbin's blood all over it.
Well, once you clean it off, though, but
you're never going
to
forget.
Jumped on. It got kind of abused a little bit.
You're never going to forget cutting a body in half with a truck.
Luckily, there was blood still seeping out from under the bandages, so I didn't see that very well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
I'm going to turn it into the wild tag. My very average pickup truck.
Did you say very average or very effed up?
I said average. Because
Okay.
it's brand new, and it's meant to take a beating, but it's gone from brand new, really good, to the wild tag of quote unquote average.
And he's never, So if we were to continue playing, you would totally be able to invoke that as a wild tag, as you're suddenly reminded of all the blood from when you ran over Barry Corbin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can't believe
it's average, meaning it's got a few quirks. It's like, what's happened? Yeah, the radiator's never been quite the same since the incident.
And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and Google Barry Corbin one of his more famous roles is in the old 80s movie War Games.
Oh, that's the War Games. It's a good movie.
Where
How
his
about a
famous
nice
lines
game
is,
of chess?
you know, hell, I'll piss on a spark plug if I think it'd do any good. So yeah, and he played Maurice Benefield in the Northern Exposure series. So yeah. So Jamie, is that it for you? You got it?
Yep.
I have 3 humanity, which I will spend on the sheriff decides to retire and the town elects me sheriff. I'm able to work out with Mr. Johnson that we just need to sweep all this under the carpet and they need to move on and not, come back. But there will also be the element of he will become a very active ecological science advocate and will be trying to find out more about alternative energy sources and trying to promote the fact that we need to get away from oil, which will make him incredibly unpopular with a lot of people.
All right. So the promoted to sheriff, that's a positive tag. And then was that you like letting the horror sink in on the being unpopular, or
I didn't actually have any horror or foreboding built up for an official purpose, but from just a story purpose, I think that still makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, so with you being promoted to sheriff and now becoming a clean energy activist, and meanwhile the star ice hockey player, well, you missed a game tonight, which peeved a little bit of people off, but it was for a reason a lot of people consider good, but also a lot of people consider bad. So you've continued your somewhat controversial position in town there, but now on an even grander scale.
On the plus side, it's gone from negative to wild, so technically it's an improvement in my reputation.
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic. And meanwhile, the town has a big sinkhole in the middle of town instead of that statue. The library burned down. The oil field burned down. But, maybe you're going to get some windmills installed. Get a wind farm going.
To be fair, the abandoned oil field is still there. It's still a town tag, I'm pretty sure. It's just extra abandoned now.
It is. You guys did not mark off the abandoned oil field tag. You only marked off Barry Corbin, the richest guy in town, and the giant silver moose statue, which is somewhere down in that pit.
So,
hey, that means we can open up a silver mine, right?
Ghost Dinosaur 2 has plenty of, and I'm sorry, that's a horrible title, but I can't think of another one.
We call it Poltosaurs.
What?
Oh, coming up with titles
Poltosaurus Rex.
Far the hardest part of anything like this, in my experience.
There we have it, Poltosaurus Rex.
No. I
Come on.
I cannot sign off on
terrible that. 80s. That's terrible 80s exploitation title 101.
Worse. No. That as much as this is maybe straight to video, I refuse to let it be that straight to video.
Hey, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. It would be noted in random YouTube videos that it had a weirdly well realized arc for its protagonist, and that Barney Benson is also a weirdly well-realized secondary character.
Yeah. So Fred Ward would totally be the actor for my part, and I think Luke, what's his face from the Holly, or what is it, Beverly Hills? Oh God, what are you guys know what I'm talking about, right? 81020, the
Oh, 90210, geez.
902, yeah. Luke, what's his face? You would totally be Barney. So Fred Ward and Luke Benson would be the actors in this one. So there'd be at least a little bit of a budget. And if there was at least a little bit of a budget, Pultosaurus is not. No. It would have to be oh man. I'm burning my brain around this one because Thomas, Ghost Dinosaurs, really?
I didn't say that's the title. I didn't say anything is the title. I
don't
know.
But you did make it about Ghost Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, I did make it about Ghost Dinosaurs. That's for sure. Oh,
every
yeah.
Time it's like never the direction I expect. It's like, what are we doing? Oh, it's World War II in Normandy. Oh, we're using ghost cheese monks to fight the Nazis, or it's heroin made from alien blood.
Jurassic Nightmare.
All right, yeah, that's good. So to give you a peek behind the curtain as to how I came up with Ghost Dinosaurs is so I used these tables here. So it's a roll a d6 4 times for inspiration to get the source of the horror, like what kind of thing the antagonist is, their motive, what are they doing, and what is the inciting incident. And I got, I rolled a 5 for the source, which is an enormous threat, like in The Birds or The Blob or Tremors. So something really big. We're talking about oil. Oil is compressed ancient dead things. What's a really big ancient dead thing? Dinosaurs. The motive rolled a 1, so revenge. It's because people are fucking with their corpses. Then what are they doing? Rolled a 3, obvious killings. And then what is the inciting incident? Rolled a 1, a protagonist stumbles upon a victim.
Perfect. I love it.
Wow.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get my hands on this stuff.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that it sounds like you guys had a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this. And I'm looking forward to working with
you. In true game fashion, when I'm in it, it somehow almost always comes back to crime. The secret ingredient is crime.
It's really interesting when watching the sort of trends in like the kinds of characters that people make. Some people like to make, cops and sheriffs and stuff like that. More people like to make criminals. One that didn't show up this time, but is also pretty common, is a lot of people play priests. There's just, oh man, it's great.
Yeah, I explicitly wanted to break the mold by just going like, what is like the most like generic sort of slasher character I can come up with? And I was like,
Jamie, I loved our interaction. I thought it was a great combo, and I loved how the system created the relationship that it did. So
it was good.
I can see this movie. I have watched worse movies than this. I've watched
much worse movies than Ghost Dinosaurs.
and well, no, Jurassic Nightmare. Jurassic Nightmare is
Jurassic Nightmare.
Released in America as Jurassic Nightmare and Italy as Ghost Dinosaurs.
There you go. Exactly.
and released in the UK as Pultosaurus Rex.
Oh God. You're killing me, Jamie. You're killing me. Listen,
Yeah, but you see, these actors that we're talking about, they don't have the star power in the UK, so it's a lot more like, it's even more straight to video tier.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me. Released in Italy as Dinosauri Fantasma.
Oh, I love it. That should just be the title.
Guys,
It's what we use.
you know what? I'm gonna have to. I mean, it was an Italian-made production, absolutely, because the Italians
Yes.
would totally hire Fred Ward and Luke, what's his face, as the American actors for it.
Oh yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Set in Alaska, filmed in Norway.
Yeah. Filmed in
Guys,
Gotland, Sweden.
I had so much fun. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you something, and you absolutely can quote me on this.
Oh, let me write it down.
I'm looking forward to being a stretch goal for your Kickstarter. And you may quote me on this. This design is beautifully quirky and brilliant.
Thank you so much.